All right, so we already just took out our London high here. So I think now we're going to go and try to target our Asia high up at 2287. That's what it's looking like. Did anybody look for an aggressive entry off the 1 minute fair value gap and maybe keep a super wide stop loss? You know, I wasn't really looking for that entry. If you were looking for an aggressive entry, though, that could have been a decent entry for you, right? If you were willing to keep a very large stop loss on that trade, you could have looked to target a long off of that 1 minute fair value gap there. Now, me, I'm not really looking for that type of setup here. You know, I'm not looking to be super aggressive at the moment. But that could have been a pretty decent setup for you if you did. If that was something you were looking for there. Okay. Jeez, man, that's insane. That is insane. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of videos of Asheville, man. It's very sad to see. Okay, so we got this 1 minute busy right here. Let's see if we're gonna get a strong reaction. We could honestly look for a trade off this 1 minute busy. The only thing is we do have some SMT here. ES just swept some highs, or NQ just swept London high. ES is still sitting below London high. Let's look at the 5 minute here. Again, we're only about 9 minutes into market open, so we don't have to look to force an entry after sweeping London high, right? Especially when we've been seek and destroy so far. If we're going to see a continuation, I would like to see a trade up to Asia high, but we could see us come right back down after this. So let's kind of be careful here. Let's possibly look for a long entry here if we're going to see a strong reaction off of this 1 minute busy. Right now, it doesn't look like that's going to happen just yet. Doesn't look like that's going to happen just yet. So let's just keep our eye on this right now. Let's see what kind of reaction we get off this 1 minute busy here. I would be looking for an entry. By the way, guys, I'm going to be trading a 150K here on FFN, a 150K. I'm going to be looking to usually scale in here with my half a lot position will probably be like 5 micros. I'm going to scale in with 5 micros. And then what I'm going to do is add 5 more, and I'll probably have 10 micros as a full position until we build some more drawdown on this account. I'm going to start out with micros on a 150K, and then I'll probably scale up a little bit more as we go. You know, if we start to build some good leverage, that's when I might think about scaling up to maybe 2 minis, you know, as we're going, as we build some more leverage. Our profit goal is 9,000, and our drawdown is 5,000. So that's why I really like these 150K accounts. It's a pretty good ratio of drawdown to profit goal on these 150Ks. So I really do like trading the 150K sized accounts. So that's what I'm going with here. Yes, we do have that orange folder news. Thank you for bringing that up, Ray. Yeah, guys, in 5 minutes we have that Chicago PMI coming out. So we could probably stay out of the market until that news does come out. But I'm still looking to see what kind of reaction we get here off this 1 minute busy, especially if we're going to run through this 1 minute SIBI here over here on ES. Move that right here. So let's see if we're going to get a strong reaction back down to sell side here with that news coming out, or if we're going to see a continuation up to buy side. Again, we just took out a previous session high. We took out London high. ES failed to take out that London high. So we're seeing an SMT, right, a divergence between these correlating markets. So now we want to see if we're going to get some kind of follow through, or if we're going to see that reaction or rejection from this level, reversal down to sell side liquidity. I was talking about this going into market open. We are very seek and destroy profile right now, right? We are very range bound. We are just going up to grab buy side. We're coming back for sell side, right? Back and forth. So sell side, buy side, right? So my expectation now would be if we're going to keep this seek and destroy conditions profile, that means we're probably going to come back down for sell side right down here. But we do have news coming out. So this news could really change a lot of things here. So let's just play it safe. Let's be smart here. Let's wait for this news to come out. No need to rush a trade right now. We do have this 5-minute busy below. 5-minute bullish imbalance right here. All right, so we can just label that 5-minute busy. 5-minute busy here. All right, so let's pay attention to this right now. Let's pay attention. So who from Eternal Exchange from my Discord caught that short position with me last night? Who caught the short down here with me last night? That was a very nice way to start out the week here. Very nice way to start out the week. 213 tick trade. There we go. There we go. Go Eternal Exchange gang. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, it was a nice trade there. That was a nice trade. I saw the setup coming from a mile away. I was just waiting for the right entry. But we had such a bearish sentiment in the market, and we finally set up an A+ setup for me to take an entry off of, and ended up really playing out nicely. I love taking those Sunday night trades and starting out the week with some really good buffer. That's like my favorite thing to do. All right, so we inverse this 1-minute busy here. Inversion of this 1-minute busy. Never silence your phone on a Sunday, Easy Sunshine. Or only during church if you're at church. Hey, once that market opens on Sunday night, gotta be ready. Now, I did have a terrible migraine yesterday, so I wasn't even sure if I was gonna trade. But I saw that setup and I was like, screw the migraine. This setup is way too good not to take. Okay, guys, so we have news coming out here in just 1 minute. So we're gonna wait for this news to come out. If you're new here, if you don't know who I am, I do not gamble when I trade. I'm not like a lot of those traders you see out there on social media. I try to trade real. I try to trade with real discipline. We don't gamble news. We don't take dumb trades. We trade only A+ setups, right? So I never will take a trade when news is about to come out, whether that's orange folder or red folder news, higher impact news. You're only going to see me take a trade when the market allows us to. I'm not going to gamble when news is coming out. So that news comes out in about 10 seconds here. So we're just going to be patient. We're going to pay attention to what that news release was. We're going to see, was it positive, was it negative here. Projection is 46.1. Let's see if it beats it. If it stays the same, we'll keep an eye on it just to see what kind of effect it might have in our market. So it's coming out right now. We never tapped into that 5-minute busy down here. I did want to see if we're going to tap into that 5-minute busy. We do now have our 15-minute opening range orb, whatever you want to call it. All right, this is our 15-minute orb right here. So we're at the highs of our 15-minute orb. Opening range breakout level. All right, this is the low. This is our low of our 15-minute orb. So we do want to pay attention. If we're going to come up and sweep that opening range level in reverse, well, we might expect price to continue down to sell side a little bit. Okay, so it looks like our news came out green. Thank you, Salazar. I didn't even see you said that. Yeah, so it looks like we beat projections there. Looks like news beat projections. So what would be nice for us to do here, guys, is if we can set up some bearish structure, trade into a 5-minute busy. If we can trade into this 5-minute busy here, create some bearish fair value gaps, and then run through those bearish fair value gaps, that's when I start looking for a long setup up to Asia high. Right, so I want to see some structure built here on the 1 minute. I want to see some structure built. You know, maybe like some kind of turtle soup entry here where we can create some structure. We can come down and sweep an internal low and go target an external high at Asia high. That's the kind of setup I'm looking for right now. That would be the A+ setup that I would be looking to target here. All right, so I'd like us to trade into this 5-minute busy. I'd like us to create some bearish fair value gaps, at least one strong bearish fair value gap. Once we inverse that level, once we inverse that bearish fair value gap, that's what gives me the conviction to now jump into a long position. to target Asia high. But if price is not going to give us a real entry level, I'm just going to have to sit on the sideline here. What is Asia high level? Yes, so it is at 2287 here on NQ. Asia high is at 2287. Up at that 15-minute high right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's see what the market offers us today, guys. We are purely observers of the market. We don't force ourselves into the market. We let the market show what it shows us. If it shows us a setup, we execute. If it doesn't, we sit on the sideline. As a trader, what you truly need to try to do is become an observer of the market. If you can purely observe the market 90% of the time and then only trade maybe 10% of the time, that's when good things can happen. But if you're trading 90% of the time and you're only observing 10% of the time, you're probably going to have some issues of over trading, of not actually taking good setups. That's when bad things happen. All right, I use this analogy sometimes, but I think of it as like you're a surfer, right? A surfer, you sit out on the ocean, you sit out on the waves for probably, depending on the day, depending on the sets you get, for probably about 90% of the time, you're just sitting there waiting for the wave to show up, right? And then when that 10% happens, when you see that A+ wave, that perfect wave, you go catch that wave, you ride it, you're happy, and then you get back up, on the waves, and you sit there and you wait for the next wave. Same thing in the market. You're sitting, waiting for the wave to show. You're not creating the wave. The wave creates on its own, and you're waiting to go catch that. Most of the time, you're just sitting on the sideline. You're just kind of waiting for that wave to be shown, and then you're going to go execute your trade once it's presented. Good morning, Endo. Enrique, good morning. Good morning. Quick question. FFN evaluation, we can only make 15% of the target, right? So it depends on the evaluation. If you're using the Express or the, what's it called? I think it's called the Express, right, guys? So with the Express, you have to keep 15%. The Express is 15%, but when it comes to the normal eval, it is not 15%, but with the actual, 40% with the normal eval, 15 with the Express. And then when it comes to your actual funded account, after, let's say you have a standard account, you're doing 40% consistency. Once it comes to your actual, Express account or your actual funded account, that's when you got to go back to that 15% consistency again. Right, and that's just creating good habits. Just think about it. If you can keep a consistency of 40% profit on an eval, right, you're going to be able to pass that account in the minimum days that it takes, right? In 15 days, you could pass, technically you could pass that account, in 4 days if you wanted to, or in 3 days technically. But you need to pass it in a minimum of 15 days with a standard, and with an Express account, it's a minimum of 7 days. So there's no really need to try to make all of that money in 3 days, right? So what I always would do is, if my profit goal, let's say for this 150K is, let's say my profit goal, right, it's 9,000, and I can't pass, I have to take 15 days to pass it. Well, then I'm going to divide 9,000 by 15. And that gives me 600, right? So that means my daily profit goal is going to be $600. My daily profit goal is going to be $600, because if I can make $600 for 15 days, that means I will pass that account in the minimum days it takes. And there might be some days where I make a little bit more, and there might be some days where I don't make my profit goal or I lose a little bit. But if I'm trying to make 600 a day, that means I'm probably only trying to lose about 300 a day. Right? So if you can keep that risk management plan solid, just take it slow, man. Take it slow. You know what I used to always struggle with was trying to pass an evaluation or get a funded account or get a payout within a few days. And what I would do is I would blow through that account so quick because I was so eager to make money that if I would have just waited and stayed consistent with my strategy, I could have waited 15 days to pass and then maybe another, 15 days to get a payout. Imagine if I would have waited 30 days just to get a payout. I would have had, however much more money in my account than I did before. Instead, I blew through that account and then I had to buy another account. And I would just keep going through that same process day after day after day after day because I thought that I would make money quicker if I just took the trade right now, if I just tried to pass it right now. When in reality, if you could just stay patient and wait maybe a month, and take your account slow, I would have gotten my payout after that month instead of blowing 5 or 10 accounts in between that whole time period, right? That's the way I see it. So what FFN allows us to do is to stay patient and to stay disciplined in our trading instead of trying to full port our accounts, because look, you can make 40% of your account. That's the max. On the Express, you can make 15%. Dude, if you just make that profit goal every day and you walk away once you hit that profit goal, you're going to be like, I am so happy I just took it slow and waited that 15 days to pass this account because now I have my funded account. Right? Instead of saying, oh, I'm so mad that I over leveraged myself and now I don't have my account anymore. Right? That's the way I see it. After you pass the evaluation, the consistency rule goes away. Okay, cool. In Q, Sniper. So I trade on Top Step sometimes. I don't have any Top Step accounts active right now. At least I don't think I do. I'd have to go check. But yeah, I will go trade Top Step every once in a while. But I don't have any Top Step accounts active. So right now, guys, just kind of going back to the charts, we are extremely choppy here after the news. There's not really much going on, but what I do like about choppiness, about accumulation, is this means we're usually setting up for a pretty good move, right? When we're accumulating, when we're consolidating, we're usually setting up for a pretty solid move, right? So what I would like to see is some kind of AMD. We're accumulating, we manipulate down into this 5-minute and 1-minute bullish for value gap, and then we distribute up to our Asia high. That's something that I would like to see happen. So we're just going to have to be patient. I'm never going to take a trade while we're accumulating like this. This is very low probability right here to take a trade. We have to wait for price action to get a little bit better. Got to wait for price action to be a little bit better. Okay, so good question. If my profit goal is 600, well, then my loss limit will probably be about 300, right? So if I divide that 300, let's say my full position is 10 micros divided by 5, that gives me 60 ticks of leverage. So that's not too much with a full position, right? But that's why I always scale in with half a lot, and then I add into a full once I see the trade is moving in my direction. So that means I could basically lose 120 ticks with my half a lot position, right? But I could also just keep my scale. I could keep it at 5 micros, right? And just risk 120 ticks and try to make 240 ticks. But I like to keep my risk to reward about 1 to 2. So if I'm going to be aiming for $600 in profit, then I'd probably want to keep my risk around $300. So that's kind of what my plan with this account. Already made 250 today on my 25K account. Very nice, Diesel. Very nice. See, that's the way you got to do it right there. Make your profit and move on. Yeah, exactly. Make your profit, observe, learn, move on. That's awesome. Okay, so this is what I was talking about right here. We just created a 1-minute SIBI. So what I want to see us do, ideally, would be to trade down into this 5-minute busy, right? But even now, we look like we're souping right now, right? So this is kind of our turtle soup here. We're creating 1-minute structure. We just souped this internal low. So now I want to see if we can inverse this 1-minute SIBI. If once we inverse this, I will look for a long position up to Asia high. Right? Ideally, I'd want to see us trade into this 5-minute busy first. That would be my ideal entry. Would be off that 5-minute busy, or like seeing us trade into that level and then bouncing. But we've already souped this internal low, and we do have an external high up here. So we are getting a strong reaction, but now I want to see if we're going to get a nice push into this 5-minute busy, then react off that, then come up and inverse the SIBI. Boom, I'll look for an entry. looking to target over 180 ticks. Right, so that would be my entry target here. Okay, so if I'm looking to target 180 ticks, right, that means, well, if I'm in a full position, if I'm in 10 micros, I wouldn't even need to be in 10 micros, I don't think. So if, let's say I held 180 ticks for a full TP, that puts me at $900 in profit on that trade if I held my full position. Now let's say I might look for something more like, maybe take a TP at these highs. That gives me more around $700 of profit there. So every trade that I get into, guys, I'm calculating my risk and what my profit is going to be. Every single trade I get into, I'm calculating that. No matter what account I'm trading, I'm always calculating how many ticks am I risking? What is my profit goal? Right? How much money am I risking? How much money am I looking to make? Every single trade, you have to have a good idea and a good plan, exactly the dollar amount or the tick amount that you are risking and looking to make. All right, so now we are tapping into that 5-minute busy. So this is where we want to see if we're going to get that reaction off this level. Are we going to react off this 5-minute? We're right at VWAP. We just grabbed internal lows. We have some relative to equal highs up here, so we have some good buy-side liquidity up here to grab. But now we need to see a solid reaction off of this 5-minute busy here. Got to see a solid reaction for me to jump into a trade here. So let's see. Do we have any other 1 minutes? We don't have any other 1 minute SIBIs here. So the aggressive entry would be, yes, an aggressive entry would be right off the rejection. You would be looking off the first bullish aggressive candle. You'd be looking for an entry. The conservative entry here would be waiting for us to close above and inverse this 1 minute SIBI. That's one thing to think about, right? We do have the SMT at the highs, so that is something that I pay attention to for sure, as well as the fact that we are, seek and destroy profile this whole day. That's something that I do keep in mind, right? Because if we're going to see a continuation to sell side, if we're not going to respect any of our bullish levels, well, that's when I would look to start shorting down to the lows, right? Because of that SMT, because of the seek and destroy profile. So yeah, it is something that I do keep in mind, 100%. I wouldn't say I'm worried about it, but it's something that I'm keeping my eye on here, right? Because if we're going to see a strong continuation right now to sell side, well, that's when I'm going to start looking for a short position. Well, looks like we're about to see that strong continuation right now to sell side. Let's see how far we're going to push down. We got to look at ES over here. Because again, we're still in this 5-minute. We just closed on the hour. Right? Let's see how the hourly closed here on both indices. The hourly on ES just respected the bearish fair value gap, but we did not on NQ. So a little bit of divergence there. Strong pullback on the hourly, but now we have this 15-minute busy here. So this is going to be the key level. If we're going to start pushing through that level, that's when I really start looking for shorts. If we're going to see a nice bounce off this level, I'm still looking for inversion of some bearish fair value gaps to start looking for my entry. But that was a pretty strong push down. We're now below VWAP. We did get SMT at the highs, and we're now into silver bullet. So we got to start looking for some silver bullet entries here. Now we start looking for some silver bullet entries. What is a silver bullet entry? Well, we're looking for fair value gap entries, right? This is when we have to really stay patient and wait for which side is going to win the battle. Are the longs or the shorts going to take control? How do we know who's going to take control? Well, are we respecting bearish order flow or bullish order flow? If we continue to bounce off bearish fair value gaps, that's when we start looking for a short position. If we're going to run through this bearish fair value gap, that's when I'm looking for a long. All right, so we got a strong bounce off VWAP off of this 1 minute SIBI here. So that's what we are looking and waiting for right now. I'm still expecting the longs to step in right now. I still want to see the long step in up to Asia high. But we might come down first and grab sell side liquidity before that happens. So we might have to be a little bit patient or look for a bearish setup. Like I said this morning, going into doing our pre-market, I'm expecting a range day. I'm not expecting a trend breakout day. Very we don't really have any more news until Powell speaks. That's like the next kind of thing we have. Okay, wait, here we go. We're inversing here. We're inversing here, so this is when I want to start looking to target a long position here. This is when I want to start looking to target a long position, would be at this inverse. Now, not if I don't see continuation. We still technically haven't closed above yet. But I do want to start looking for a long position here in just a second. If we can maybe create a nice bullish fair value gap here. I mean, we're looking to target, I mean, already we're about 200 ticks away from these highs. So we'd still have a lot of reward even if we do wait for this setup, even if we do stay very patient. We will still have a lot of reward. But I do like that we just inverse that 1 minute. But we still need to see a good reaction off of this inverse here before we jump into an entry. And maybe I would like to see us create some fair value gaps here on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so we just got inversion. This is when I start to think about taking a long position here. But again, we're not seeing enough yet. We are not seeing enough for me to jump into a trade just yet. I still need to see a lot more. I do like how bullish ES is looking over here, but NQ is kind of holding us down still. Yeah, so we do have this 5 minute forming up here. We would have to inverse that level as well. Let's look at the 3. And we do have a 3 minute up here that we'd have to inverse. So yeah, you are correct. We also just tapped into a 2 minute. So we're still showing some bearish order flow here. But ultimately, what I'm paying attention to is the 15 minute busy, the 5 minute busy, right? So that's what I'm looking at right now. And that's why I still have a little bit of a long bias here. You said the VIX is pumping. All right, let's pull up the VIX real quick. Let's take a look. All right, so VIX was very bullish Friday, right? And today the VIX has been pretty choppy so far today, but it is kind of pumping currently. Not anything too crazy, but it is a little bit bullish. You are correct. Okay, so we already closed below the inverse here. So what would make me short this market right now? I would need to see inversion. I would need to see some inversion here on the 5 minute time frame. If we're going to close below this fair value gap on the 5 minute, that's when I'm starting to look for the shorts, right? Especially because we have our opening range breakout low. And what am I targeting? I'm just targeting the lows down here. I'm targeting the lows down here, our morning lows. All right, and then what do we expect right after that? We expect reversal right back up to buy side because seek and destroy. So we almost inverse there. Very close to inversing here. But I still need to see an entry model, guys. I still need to see an entry model. I still need to see a fair value gap tapped into. Still need to see that before I take an entry. We do have a 1 minute up here. We have not inversed the 5 minute technically. And we have not inversed the 15 minute technically. So I'm still not convinced because we are kind of just battling between these levels right now. We're just battling between these levels. But I am looking to take a nice setup. But look how bullish ES is looking right now. ES is looking like it's really trying to battle through VWAP here. We did just get another good solid reaction off of a 1 minute SIBI. I just don't really like the idea. I don't like the idea of shorting inside of a 15 minute and a 5 minute busy here. In a 15 minute order block. Right? I don't love that idea, but we look extremely bearish here. We do. So that's the aggressive entry, right? Off that 1 minute SIBI. That is the aggressive entry there. Did anybody take an aggressive entry on this trade? Is anybody riding these shorts right now? That is the 1 minute bearish fair value gap entry. Technically, during Silver Bullet, what are we looking for? Technically, during Silver Bullet, I'm looking for us to target previous session highs and lows. Right? So what is our previous session high that we'd be looking for is Asia high. That's the only one that hasn't been taken out because Asia low and London low have already been taken. So that's why I still want to see if these longs are going to step in during Silver Bullet. because our silver bullet hour usually goes to target our previous session highs and lows. And since our lows have already all been taken out, I would expect us to really go try to target our Asia high. That's the only reason I'm not really looking for that aggressive entry yet. That and the fact that we're still in a 15-minute and a 5-minute busy. We do have this 5-minute SIBI up here that we would have to inverse. So I'm still going to sit on the sideline right now. If you are writing these shorts, you know, just keep a close eye on it. You're looking for TP levels. You're looking for a TP down here at this low. And then you're looking to see what kind of continuation do we have. If we're going to reverse right after taking this low, if we do take this low, or are we seeing a strong drop where I can move my stop into profit and keep riding all the way down to low of day, right, from this morning. So I'm still waiting on this right now just because of what our price action is looking like. If we get inversion of this 5-minute, you know, that might make me more inclined to target the shorts all the way down to these lows down here. Especially the 15-minute too. I do want to see inversion on the 15-minute for me to really have conviction to target a short position. Right now, ES is kind of holding us up here. But the shorts are trying to take control. They really, truly have been in control for a little bit now. And they are trying to get some continuation. They are trying to get some continuation. But I'm never in a rush, guys. I'm never in a rush. You could see me wait an hour and a half before I take my first trade. And that's fine by me. Right, every time we've done that in the past, I don't know, month or so, there's been plenty of days we've waited an hour to take a trade, and we ended up catching hundreds of ticks because we just stayed patient. So I'm never in a rush. Okay, so how many people are riding these shorts right now? Is there anybody? I see that Amin is in the shorts here. Anybody else riding these shorts? Sammy's in the shorts. Hey, Ren is in the shorts. Oh, no, you're still waiting. No, Christian's still waiting. Okay. Deep is waiting. All right, so that's that TP level. For those of you that did take that short, that's first TP right there. Right? For those of you that jumped into that short position off the 1-minute SIBI, look, that's first TP, and that's 140 ticks. That's 140 tick first TP for those of you that did get in those shorts. Exactly, Chickling, right? Every time we wait for a trade, good things typically happen, right? It's that idea of just being patient. Just being patient, right? Because even though maybe I missed out, right? I might have missed out on this short right here. I don't care about missing out on that short because I'm really waiting for my perfect setup before I take my entry. I'm really waiting for my perfect entry here. But again, I still like to call out these entries for anybody that's looking to be a little bit more aggressive, which is why I still called out this 1-minute bearish for value gap entry. Because I know a lot of you like to be a little bit more aggressive with your trades. So I'm still going to give you those trade setups that I see in the market that maybe I'm going to stay out of. So 5-minute just closed. Did we get full inversion? Still no inversion of the 5-minute technically, but we are looking pretty bearish. So what we want to see now is what kind of reaction we get here, because now we got SMT at the lows, right? If we look closely here on ES and NQ, right? We got SMT at the lows right here. Right, that's that SMT divergence. When ES fails to sweep the low and NQ comes down and sweeps the low, that's our SMT. We still have not inversed a 5-minute fair value gap. We still haven't closed on the 15-minute. We're still respecting this 15-minute. We have like 4 minutes left on this one. But when I see SMT and I know we're in seek and destroy profile, this is when I expect us to reverse and come right back up for buy side. And that's why I said if you are in these shorts, this is where you take your TP and you wait to see, do we get continuation or not? If you don't get continuation, you probably just want to get fully out of your position or at least have your stop loss into profit a little bit. Right? That's why I said that, because today is not a continuation type of day, at least not so far. Today is a range day, right? So this is not a day where I'm going to be looking to hold on to runners, right? This is kind of a day where I'm just going to be getting in my position and selling my whole position, maybe leaving one runner if it, if there's something that tells me I should leave a runner. So this is when I'm waiting for inversion of this 1 minute here. If we inverse this 1 minute and we close above VWAP, that's when I'm looking to take a long up to our buy side liquidity. So I will stay patient until we do that, because we have a lot of levels we're going to have to battle through up here on buy side. Right, we're going to have to battle through this 5 minute SIBI right here. We're going to have to battle through this 5 minute SIBI. A lot of levels we're going to have to fight through if we're going to see these longs actually step in up to buy side liquidity. Exactly, Deep, right? This is a more aggressive type of turtle soup move. I would have wanted to see this be our turtle soup here. Right, this is more, to me, this more looks like just silver bullet setting up for a move, grabbing a liquidity and then targeting opposing liquidity. But we're just really going to have to wait. This 15-minute candle closes here in 2 minutes. So if I see inversion of this 15-minute busy right here, I am looking for a short all the way down to lows, all the way down to these lows. If we see 15-minute inversion right now, that's when I'm looking for a short. If we're going to still respect that 15-minute, well, then I can't really look for a short position. Yeah. Ultimately, if I wanted to see, we're going to see a real trend day and a real breakout day, I want to see the shorts come in ultimately, right? Like I said during pre-market, my bias ultimately is bearish right now. I do ultimately have a bearish bias if we do see a breakout day. But overall, so far, all I've seen is range day. So I need to see a clear inversion of this 15-minute. And that's when I really look for a short position here. Right? Because then I'm expecting us to come all the way down to these lows. So it looks like we're going to get that inversion here. We have about 30 seconds left. So now what do I need to see? I need to see us trade into a 1 minute SIBI. And then I'm going to target my entry in the shorts. All right, we're closing below. We're looking like we're trying to close below this 15-minute here. We're going to close below the 5-minute. We'll see. We got about 15 seconds here. But we're definitely getting that inversion of the 15-minute. And we're coming down to our opening range breakout level here on the 15. So it looks like these shorts are about to step in pretty aggressively. Pretty aggressively here. So now I'm going to look to target a good short entry. All right, so we got that inversion of the 5-minute, the 15-minute. So now I need to see us tap into a 1 minute SIBI here. Even though I know we do have some SMT still at the lows, but I'm expecting us to really start breaking out here. Or not necessarily even breaking out, but at least coming down to this low. All right, so this is when I start looking to target a short. Silver bullet short here. Keeping my stop above our fair value gap. And we have to trade back into a fair value gap for me to get my entry either way. So if this runs away from me, there's not much I can do about it. There's not too much I can do about it if it's going to run away. I'm not going to get FOMO. I'm not going to try to chase this short. I need to wait for us to trade it into my level for me to take an entry. If we don't do that, I have to continue to sit on the sideline here. So let's give me that good short entry here. Give me a good short entry. We've got another fair value gap up above here on the 1 minute. So I would take this as an entry here. And we're looking to target, right? I'd probably take a TP. Depending on what kind of swing low we create, I'd probably take a TP at this swing low here. All right, this would be my first TP level, would be this low. This sell side liquidity level here. But I still need to see us trade back into a fair value gap. So my A+ setup here would be trading into this 1 minute SIBI. coming down, taking first TP at this low, and then taking a full TP either at the entry of this fair value gap, which I believe is our weekly. No, what level is that? Is that an hourly maybe? A 4-hour busy, right? That's our 4-hour busy. So I would probably take a full TP at the 4-hour entry of the 4-hour busy, or keep holding until we break the low. So just waiting for that pullback now. Can we get some pullback? If we get some pullback, that would be ideal. Really would like to target this short here. So just going to stay very patient. Very patient. Is anybody still holding their short position from down here or from up here? From this fair value gap? Yeah, exactly. That did happen. That did happen. I think that was last Tuesday. Yeah, we kept trying to find a good entry. We could not take an entry because we never traded into one of our levels. And then we finally saw our entry, and yeah, we did catch that 800 tick long. Yeah, that's why I never stress about missing out on any trade. I don't care what happens. I don't even care if I miss out on this trade. I don't care. Because if you are trying to take that trade, guys, you can take this trade right now if you want to. You could take this order block entry right here. Right? You could take this 1-minute bearish order block entry. But I don't care about missing out on any trades whatsoever because I know there's going to be more opportunity throughout the day. I know there's going to be more opportunity. No matter what, there will be another trade setup. And if there's not, then I just won't take a trade. But again, if you let that FOMO take control of your trading, you're going to end up forcing some pretty bad trades. And that's not what you want to see. Okay, you're right. We do have a bunch of equal lows down here. This is nice. We got a bunch of relative to equal lows here. Look at that. So we have a lot of obvious sell side, but what I'd like to see is some nice pullback to give us some more reward for this short. Okay, we do have a 2-minute SIBI now right here. We do have a 2-minute SIBI, so maybe we could trade back into that 2-minute SIBI and look to target an entry off of that level. All right, so we got all these bearish imbalances above us on the 1-minute and the 2-minute. Just need to see us trade into one of them. All right, so what would our first TP be? We'd be looking to target about 90 ticks, 91, 92 ticks. So I'd probably want to keep my stop about 45 ticks, right? I'd want to keep a 1 to 2 risk to reward. That still gives us some leverage. That still gives us some room. You know, even if we take the entry off the 2-minute here, we could still keep our stop around the top of that 1 minute. I would like to get an entry a little bit higher though, just to give us some more reward and a better stop loss. But this is that 2-minute we're looking to target an entry off of right here. If we can just actually trade into it, that would be nice. That would be very nice. So we're just going to have to wait. Okay, we almost tapped into it here. All right, we just tapped into it. So now I want to see a good reaction. Right when I see a good reaction off this level, that's when I look to target a short position. I'm not going to take an entry off an aggressive bullish candle. I need to see us really get a strong reaction off this level. Okay, just kind of like that. We're starting to see a good bounce. We're starting to see a good bounce here. Still not ready to take the entry just yet. I need to see a little bit more, but that is a good, strong bounce. Good, strong bounce there. I don't love getting the entry all the way down here, but I do like this. I'm going to target a short here, guys. So I just got in a short position here. So my entry, I just targeted a short. So my entry is very low, right? So my stop loss is not going to be at a good level. So this is the risk I'm willing to take right now. I'm going to have a very aggressive risk here, a very aggressive entry. So my entry is at 21.5845. So I'm going to 21.5850. So not the best entry, right? Pretty terrible entry if you actually think about it. Pretty bad entry. pretty bad entry here. So what we would target for a first TP would actually be down here. So I might have to cut this one quick if this one's gonna push up pretty aggressively. You know, I'm gonna keep my stop just above, but this is not gonna be a very good stop loss. I might have to cut this one pretty soon. So I'm just gonna keep my stop at 21.71 for now, and I'll probably have to look for a re-entry. Here. So 171.50 is going to be my stop. If we can see a nice reaction back to sell side, that'd be awesome, right? I just don't like how low my entry is on this position. That's the only thing I don't like about this, and that's the only thing that can sometimes not be good about waiting for a reaction off of a level is you don't get the best entries. But I'd rather have a worse entry and wait for my confirmation than take a bad entry and not wait for confirmation. So I'm going to look for a first TP. I might even add into a full if we start dropping here more aggressively. I just don't like the chop too much. So I'm going to add into a full here, guys. I'm just going to add into a full. And we're going to see what happens here. We're going to see if we can get that continuation. I'm going to look for a first TP down at 21.3550. I would look for a first TP down at these equal lows, but since that's not enough reward, I won't be getting a TP there. So I'm going to put a limit order down at 21.3550 for a first TP. But we need to see a strong reaction, right? If this one's not going to react very strongly back to sell side, we might end up having to cut this one. So I'm just going to watch this one very closely here. So first TP is at 21.3550. Stop is at 21.71. We got a great reaction off the 2-minute Sibi up there. But now we just need to see a good continuation down to sell side. Again, if you got a better entry than me, you can look to take your first TP at these lows. Right? You can look to take your first TP at these lows if you got a better or a higher entry than me. But since I didn't get a good entry, I have to hold all the way down to here. So once we break this low, I'll probably just move my stop loss to break even if we can close below. So that's the first TP I wanted to take there. For those of you that got a better entry than me, that could be your first TP. Okay, there we go. We're starting to move here. We're starting to move. So once we close below this low, I will just make this a risk-free trade. Right, I would just look to make this a risk-free trade. All right, there we go. There we go. I'm going to make this a risk-free trade, guys. I'm going to move my stop loss to break even. I'll make this a risk-free trade here. We're almost at first TP already. We're almost at first TP already here, guys. You guys can already take a TP if you want to. I'm just making this risk-free. I'm going to hold down to here for first TP, and then I would hold down to this low for full TP, right? But again, we just took out equal lows, so this would be a great first TP. I just don't like taking a TP under a 1 to 2. That's why I just made this risk-free now. It's a stop, you know, it's a break-even stop here. And I expect a continuation right now down to sell side. So I want to see us come take out that low for first TP. Remember, my first TP is right here. First TP is right here. And we almost just hit it. All right, first TP just got taken, guys. There we go. There we go. First TP just got taken. So now I'm going to modify my stop. So now I'm in 5 contracts. Stop is staying at break even right now. Stop is staying at break even here. And we're going to hold down to here to 156, to 119.50 for a full TP. Where I'm actually going to sell off 3 cons at 119.50. So 119.50, I would sell off 3 cons. So I'm going to modify that. So I'm going to put on 3 cons here for a TP there. And again, if this one comes and stops me, you know, if this stops me at break even, oh well, we just caught a nice win. This one might come up quick here. This one might stop us out here at break even. This one's coming up pretty fast. This one's coming up pretty fast here, guys. So at least we caught a nice TP there. And all right, well, it got me at break even. Got me at break even. So that was a strong rejection down at the 4 hour. But that's why we took TP right at the 4 hour, right? So that was a great little scalp there. Great little scalp. Ultimately, 124 ticks from entry to bottom, right? TP 91 ticks. I'll take that. That was a nice scalp. Like I said, today is going to be more of a scalping type of day. It's going to be more of a scalping type of day, but that's a very nice quick trade right there. Very nice quick TP for us. Very nice TP. So who took that one with me, guys? Who took that one with me? I would like to see everybody that took that trade with me right there. We finally got to take a trade here on our FFN stream. We finally got to take a trade. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what I'm talking about. I bet you a lot of people here that have never seen me trade before are probably like, this Trader Joe guy never trades. Why is his name Trader Joe if he never actually trades? Trust me, guys, I do trade. I do trade. Just the past 2 Mondays, we've seen terrible price action, so I stayed disciplined, stayed out of it. But yeah, that was a quick scalp. Obviously, not anything crazy in terms of profit. Not anything too crazy, but that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice. I'll take that. Waiter Joe. Yeah, guys, so good stuff right there. Good stuff. So it looks like profit for me on that trade. Profit for me on that trade was only 214. Only 214 because, again, I got stopped at break even with half my position. So now we'll look and see if we get the reversal here. We might be able to catch a long position here. Right? Seek and destroy. Seek and destroy. We might actually catch a reversal here. So I'm going to look for one more setup here. I'm going to look and see if we get a reversal pattern. We just got a reversal pattern. We just got a bullish breaker block. Right? We just created a bullish breaker block here. So now we have a bullish reversal pattern right here. That's our breaker block. Right? We have low, high, lower, low displacement of the highs. So this is a bullish reversal pattern here on the 1 minute time frame. Again, if you guys caught your profit, you know, and you hit your profit goal, don't take another trade. Just stay out. Just stay out, you know. But right now, again, I'm looking for $600 profit on this account. I'm up about 200 because I had to, you know, I got half my stop at break even. So now I'm going to look for one more trade here off this reversal pattern, and I'm going to look for a long position. Look at all this inversion we're getting here. We're about to create a 15-minute SIBI. So I want to see us trade through that 15-minute SIBI, but we just got some nice inversion, great bullish order flow stepping in. ES looks very bullish, so now I'm looking for a 1 minute fair value gap to target the longs here. 1 minute fair value gap to target the longs. All right, so I want to see us now trade back into a 1 minute. Let's see if we can do that. Great reversal pattern. Looks like we're going to run right through our 15-minute fair value gap here. So we're going to still have to fight pretty hard. We're going to have to fight through this 15-minute SIBI and through VWAP. Right? So it might take a little bit for us to really push through. But this is seek and destroy profile like I've said since this morning. So now we'd expect us to come right back up to buy side, which is why we took profit right when we entered into that 4 hour busy. Right? We're looking for profit at that 4 hour busy. I was going to see if we could make it to those lows, but we obviously did not make it. That's why I sold half my position at the entry of this fair value gap here. All right, look, we're trading into a 1 minute busy, or we're about to trade into a 1 minute busy. So this is now where I look for a long position. This is now where I look for a long entry here. If we can get a solid reaction off this 1 minute busy, I'm looking for a long. Okay, good reaction, good reaction. Let's see, I need to see a little bit more. Need to see a little bit more here. So far, so good. I just need to see a stronger reaction before I get my entry. I'm not going to take an entry off a bearish candle here. I need to see us really get a strong reaction here. Okay, so we're still just kind of chilling in this 1 minute busy. Right when we really push through, right when we get a strong bounce from here, I'm jumping into a long. Okay, so I'm still waiting, We're still kind of stalling at this level. We're still stalling. We are in a 15-minute SIBI, so I need to be patient. We're right around VWAP. We got to bounce off of a 15-minute SIBI and off VWAP. So I really got to stay patient here. This is not a trade I'm looking to force because it could still be a high-risk trade because of that 15-minute SIBI and because of VWAP at that level. So we still got to be very patient here. So patience. Right, we waited almost an hour for that last trade. We got to be patient for this next trade. You know, the worst thing that you can do right now is you're all hyped up. You have your adrenaline pumping because you just took a winning trade, and then you force an entry because you're so confident, and then you end up losing all your profits because you did not wait for confirmation on your next trade. That's not what we want to do here. Wait for confirmation before jumping into an entry. We got a strong bounce off the 15-minute SIBI here. So we just got to stay patient. We still have this bullish breaker. So let's see if we're going to trade back into the bullish breaker. Exactly, man. Deep said it best right there. Have patience, my Padawan. That one's for all my Star Wars fans out there. All right. Let's see if we bounce. If we start to bounce, I'm getting into my entry here. All right, I'm jumping into an entry here. Just got my entry. Oh, I got filled really high on that one. So my entry got filled on 2192. 19225. So very high fill on that entry. I did not want to get filled that high. So I'm still on half a lot. I might add into a full if we get the chance, but we might not get the chance. So I'm going to put my stop loss. There we go. That's a good pump. I'm just going to keep my stop down here about 56 ticks, 17925. Okay, so I'm going to move my stop loss down to 17925. So what we need to see here is continuation. If we're going to see a strong reaction off of VWAP again in 15 minutes, we might have to cut this trade and just wait to take another entry. If we're going to take another entry, I don't like that rejection. What I do like a lot is that ES is pumping through VWAP right now and looking extremely bullish, which just means we do have some SMT divergence. But ultimately, I want to see us come up to here, right? We're still about 270 plus ticks away from our TP. So this is one that I'll probably just hold with half a lot here and just look to really hold my full position. Or my half a lot here and just hold my 5 micros and hold all the way up to these highs. Maybe take a small TP, around this high up here. But we need to see us really get a continuation. What I don't want to see happen right now is a manipulation down to our stop because my entry got filled so high on that one. Right? My entry got filled way too high. It caused me to now have to have a higher stop loss when I wanted to keep my stop loss all the way below these lows. I just can't really do that because that would be too much risk right now on this trade. So we just tapped into the 1 minute busy. We got to see a bounce from here. Got to see a bounce. This is where it's tough, right? Getting an entry around VWAP makes it really difficult to hold through, but I'm going to hold this trade because I know my risk, right? I know my risk on this trade, so I'm willing to hold it. I know my risk to reward. I'm looking for over 200 ticks of profit here. All of my confirmation is starting to happen. The last thing we need to see is just inversion of the 15 minute. And this one is golden, right? This one's golden. So I would probably look to target a TP up at the entry of this 5 minute up at this high. So what I'll do is at 222175 is I'll move a limit order up to there. So 22175. I'm going to sell 3 cons there. And I'll just leave 2 runners. But again, we're just not seeing our follow through right now with VWAP. So hopefully we don't come down and stop me out here and then make the move. We might end up doing that. We're seeing a strong manipulation right now. Strong push down off of VWAP. So we got to be careful at this level. This is why I really wanted to keep my stop loss down here. I really wanted to keep my stop loss at a better level. Right now, it's not at the best level. Not at the best level at all. So if we're going to inverse this 1 minute busy, you'll just see me cut this trade, right? If we're going to inverse this 1 minute busy, I'll just end up cutting this trade. If we're going to keep respecting it, I'll keep holding on to it. But ideally, my entry would have been, you know, right here. This is where I tried to get my entry, and I did not get filled until all the way up here. So, again, we're in the profit still on the day, so I'm not too worried. Even if I get stopped out here, I only win in half a lot, so I'm not worried. And I will look for another entry here. I probably will look for one more entry, even if I do get stopped out on this trade. Even if I do get stopped out. So, we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Still holding. But if you did get a better entry than me, ideally, I would have kept my stop down below this low right here. So we'll just see what happens. Looks like okay, I just got stopped there. I just got stopped. So I'm still going to look for another entry here. I'm still going to look for another entry with a better entry level, right? I need to see a better entry level than what I got before. Better entry level than what I got before. Okay, so now I'm looking at a 1 minute SIBI. We're obviously right around VWAP, so it's kind of a hard level to get an entry off of. But now I want to see a 1 minute SIBI created, and I want to see us run through this. If we can create a 1 minute SIBI and inverse it, I'd look for another entry right here. Right, I'm still looking for longs. It's seek and destroy. I don't really care about this 15 minute right now because ultimately we're seek and destroy profile. I still want to see the long step in. Okay, looks like we're not creating this fair value gap. Okay, we have a very small 1 minute here. Very small 1 minute here. If we inverse this, this is when I look for another entry. Look how ES is still looking very bullish. I know we do have a little bit of SMT here at the highs. A little bit of SMT. But ultimately, we do look very bullish right now. So I'm still going to look for another entry here in the longs. If we can start to push through this 1 minute SIBI, I'll look for another entry. All right, here, this looks like another decent entry. Again, the more conservative approach would be waiting for us to close above this 1 minute SIBI. The more aggressive approach would be jumping in right now. I just hate that we're right below VWAP. That's the only thing I really don't like. But ultimately, I do expect these longs to step in all the way up to high of day here. All the way up to here. Okay, there we go. So we got the inversion. We got the inversion again. So I'm expecting these longs to step in here. So I just need to get a good entry level. The aggressive entry, guys, if you guys wanted to take that aggressive entry, was right here, right as we push through this 1 minute SIBI. That's when you get your entry off, an aggressive entry. I'm going to wait for a more conservative entry here. The more conservative entry would be waiting for us to close above VWAP, create another fair value gap. That would be kind of the conservative entry here. All right, ultimately, we've had the right idea. Oh, I need to take this limit order off. Ultimately, we've had the right idea, right? Both trades. Both trades, we have the right idea here. I still expect these longs to step in. We just got to stay patient. ES is looking pretty bullish over there. Yeah, we do have a small 1 minute bullish unicorn here with that fair value gap. Okay, this would be another entry here off this 1 minute busy. 1 minute busy entry here. Okay, if we bounce here, I'll look for another entry. I'll look for a re-entry here if we can start to reject this 1 minute busy. Boom. Okay, another entry for me here. Another entry for me here. So 2195.50 is my new entry. So this is still aggressive, guys. This is still aggressive because we're still battling VWAP. So this is still an aggressive entry overall. So if you don't want to take the aggressive entry, then I advise you just kind of sit on the sideline here, right? If you're not looking to be aggressive. So I'll just keep my stop Again, I'll keep my stop below. If we're not going to battle through, well, then I might just have to call it. I might just have to call it a session, right? Because now we're starting to see a little bit of chop. So my stop is about to get hit already. Yeah, we just inversed. We just inversed that 1 minute. So I'm out. I'm closing this position, guys. So again, ultimately after that last trade, now we're back to around break even on the day on this account. Kind of got wrecked by the chop right here. That's fine. You know, I wanted to get an aggressive entry on this one because ultimately I do expect the longs to step in. So here's the deal. When I take 3 trades, right, I usually limit myself to 2 to 3 trades. I took one really solid setup, another one where I really liked the entry, or I didn't like the entry, but it was a good setup. Another one, good entry, just didn't fall through. So now I'm back to break even. So what do I normally do at this point? Is I usually just walk away, even if I'm not even close to my loss limit or my profit goal. I'll usually just kind of walk away and just be like, okay, I took my 3 trades. The market's chopping. Now I need to kind of take a step back and I need to wait to have a better mindset going into my next trade, right? Because if you continue to trade, if you get trade after trade after trade and you overdo it, if you trade past what your limit is for your normal trades, that's when you kind of start taking bad trades. So what I always do, this is my rule that I always try to stick to, is, okay, if I take 3 trades, even if I'm at break even, I probably will take a break and take a step back and wait for the next trade, right? I'll probably take a 20, 30-minute break, come back to the market once it stops chopping, and then get my next entry. That's kind of how I look at it, right? So ultimately 3 trades, one really solid short. This one, no follow through, got stopped out. This one, no follow through, got, closed my position. So ultimately, I still think it was a good trading session. I'm just happy we were able to take some trades during the session. You guys know the previous 2 streams here have not offered us any opportunity. But how did you guys manage your trades during this session? Are you guys green? Are you red? Are you break even? I really want to know how you manage your trades. Alpha's up 600 because I can do it one way and you guys might be green, you might be red, you might be different than me. Lock yourself out in the green. Red 200, but it's all good. Green, red down 14. So it seems like even anybody that is red is only down very minimal amounts, which still gives you plenty of room to trade the rest of the day, right? Gives you plenty of room to trade the rest of the day. A lot of us are green because it looks like you guys more scalped your positions. Looks like a lot of you that are green scalped your positions and kind of just took your profit and ran, which I love to see. But that's super important. This is what I'm happy to see, is that anybody that is red right now, anybody that is red, it seems like you have managed your risk really well and you're only down a minimal amount. So that's honestly, I'm probably going to end the session here. And I know you guys might be like, why is he not going to keep trading? He's at break even. Maybe, he should keep trading. But like I said before, this is kind of when I take a step back. I relax, I breathe. I say, okay, I need to see better conditions before I take my next trade because I've taken 3 already. I'm at break even. I probably need to wait for, for my mindset to clear up a little bit and for the charts to kind of clear up as well. So that's what I'm going to do. I do appreciate everybody here for joining the session. I think we had about 200 people on the session, so that's awesome to see. Anybody that's new, I hope you enjoyed the session. Again, reach out to me if you have any questions. My Discord is Eternal Exchange. If you guys want to join the free Discord, I send out free call-outs all the time. We have a free chat room. So if you guys are interested in that, come check us out. John just sent the link for you right there. So again, yeah, if you just want to check us out for free, guys, we have I have all my free education in my Discord, a free course, a bunch of free educational videos, and a free chat room. And I do free call-outs all the time. And then, obviously, if you are interested in VIP, you can reach out to my team as well. You can reach out to me. VIP, we do our live trading sessions every single day. So, yeah, on my main account, my live account, we are up over 200 ticks from last night. But on the FFN, on the eval account here, I'm at break even on the day. So, no worries about that. Let's see what Blind89 just sent, guys. 50% off plus buy one, get one free. It ends tonight. So if you guys do want to go purchase your accounts, go use that link right there. 50% off and a buy one get one free. So if you're interested in that, looks like that one's going all day. And I'm assuming that is up in our channel as well, guys, under our FFN tab. We have the discount codes all up in that tab too. So if you don't get to do it here, you can go click on it in our Discord too. So, all right, guys, I really appreciate you. I hope you guys stay very safe today. I hope you have an amazing trading day. Again, for my members, we will be hopping on for our next trading session in about a few hours. So just be patient for that. But you guys take it easy today. God bless, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks everybody for joining up here. All right, guys, talk to you later. Peace out.